Hello and welcome to your new Epic account. My name's Gary Blissett and I'm the authorised partner for everything DiSCand, the 5 behaviours in the UK. And now that you've received your login details for your Epic account, which is the back-end administrative system for issuing DiSC and 5 behaviours profiles, the first thing you need to do is to learn some of the basic functionality and the setup functions that are available to you. So let's switch over to the website itself. So this is what Epic looks like. So it's pretty self-explanatory. The first thing over on the left-hand side is some information from us. So this is a prime way that we communicate with you. So please do log in occasionally or frequently just to check for any messages there. And over on the right-hand side is a dashboard that gives you information about codes that you've actually sent or that you've got pending at the moment, as well as some information about your credit balance. Down in the left-hand side here, the Epic News. This is information that comes direct from Wiley, so worth keeping an eye on in terms of any systems changes or any new products and those sorts of things that might be coming out that are provided down in the bottom here. So now that you've logged into Epic, what I would say is please remember your password. You can reset your password and there's always an option to have that sent to you. But just be aware that I can't access that for you. So under GDPR, I don't have any access to your Epic account. Can't see what profiles you've issued. Don't have any access to any of your clients nor any of the administrative details. So please remember your password so that you get access when you need it. So a couple of things to get us set up first of all. So if we go to personal options, the first thing to have a quick look at is view, edit your account information. So this is really important. This area here where it talks about contacts is going to appear on each page, on the front page of every report you generate. So this is an opportunity for you to put your business details in, as well as down here to be able to upload your logo, so that appears rather than ours on the front page of every report. As you move further down, if you just work through them one by one, these are the email addresses, the automated email addresses that your profiles will be sent from. So worth changing to make sure that people recognise that the reports are legitimate and coming from yourself. As you move down, everything else is pretty self-explanatory, but I do just want to point out down here in the advanced options, this box here which says allow viewing reports online by default. So if you click that box, what that means is when you issue an access code, the report will be immediately available to someone after they've submitted their questionnaire and their answers to the assessment. My suggestion is to take that out. That means they can't see their report, so that's the default. You can always change that on an individual basis when you issue the access codes. At the end, don't forget to save, just to make sure all your information is nicely secured in there. The other area to have a look at here within the personal options is manage custom messages. And this is a really good functionality that's a great time saver in as much as what you can start to do is you can create folders for particular accounts and you can create templates. So as well as the standard email that will go out with the login details for their access code, this is any particular information that you may want to provide them with about the program or the coaching that you're about to be running. So you can set all of those up in advance, create folders and create templates by going here, personal options, manage custom messages. The other thing just to point out here is if there are other people in your organization that you would like to have access to Epic, you can do that by going to manage your account and manage users, and you can quite simply add in additional people and select their user level, either as super administrators or administrators, which is normally more than enough. That saves you having to share your login details with other people in the organization. So those are the key points in order to get set up straight away. So let's just do a very quick run through of how you issue a report in the first place. So if we go to manage reports, we go to create new report and issue an access code. So first of all, we select the product family. So let's say we're going to send a Everything DiSC report, and that's going to be an Everything DiSC workplace report. And the language you would like it sent in is in English. So just one thing to point out about languages, if you do choose a language other than English, both the assessment and the report will be in that language. So unless you are multilingual, obviously you won't be able to read the details of that report. So it's just one word of warning around that. Click Next. and then this takes you to the page where you decide what information you would like within the report. We would usually leave everything checked. It's very rare that we would take something out. And then down at the bottom here is whether you want to allow immediate access to myeverythingdisc.com. So if you do select all three of these, what this means is that they will be able to see their report immediately that they've submitted the assessment if they go into My Everything Disc. Best practice for me is always not to give it at this point, and actually use it as a follow-up tool later on. So you can go back into the system and give them access once you've actually been through the report with them, run the training session, had the coaching, and then you can use this as a really useful follow-up tool at a later stage. Click on Next, and this then allows you to create folders. So again, I would always recommend that for a particular client, maybe that you select a folder. You can have a subfolder for the dates of the programs that you're actually working on. If you can do this straight away, it will help you later on when you're actually looking and searching for reports. So it's good practice to get into. When do you want the reports to actually be sent? So they can either be sent immediately, or you can select a specific date for the access code to be issued to the respondents. Also here, really good time saver, you can send them a reminder. So for example, if the report hasn't been completed by the 28th of February in this case, at 2:30 p.m, they will receive another email from the system reminding them that they need to do that. And you can choose what the subject is for that particular email, so that it gives them a nice prompt and something that they recognise coming from you. Down here is where you add the respondents. So if it's just an individual or a couple of individuals, simply put their email address in here, put the name into this area here, and this is where that default that I mentioned comes into play. So at the moment, they're not able to see their report straight away. If you do want them to, you can literally click yes, and that will enable that functionality for them. After you've put in every email and every name, please remember to click add, and what you'll see is that the names appear down here at the bottom. If you have a large number of respondents that you're sending access codes to, you can download an Excel template, and that allows you just to put in the names and the email addresses and then upload it back into Epic in order that the access codes can all be generated at the same time. The other piece of functionality here when it comes to adding respondents is using an existing report. So the way that this works is if, for example, somebody has already done a workplace report and now at a later stage they're doing a management report, for example, you can use the data from that workplace report to inform the management report. And that's really good practice. First of all, what it means is that your respondent won't have to answer all those questions again. They will only see the questions related to the management report. And secondly, what it does is it ensures that the dot on the disk map stays in the same place. So whilst we know they can move slightly between reports, it's very rare that there's a significant change. And what this does is it means that you don't get caught up discussing why there's been a minor change to the dot position rather than the content of the report. So adding respondents in three ways, either as individuals or just a small number, importing from Excel if you've got a lot, and if they've already done a report, click on the Use Existing Report tab. Then at the end, assign the access code. A couple of prompt boxes will appear just saying that this is going to take a number of credits out of your account, and you just have to confirm that. And secondly, it will then give you the option to choose the custom message that you've already set up that you want to be issued at the same time. So once that's done, when they've completed the report, you will get an email to say that they have done. So that's a nice little prompt without you having to come into Epic and check. And then in order to download their reports, we go back to Manage Reports, View, Print, Email, Completed Reports. So at this point, you can either search by name, or this is where your sort of good management of folders and subfolders comes into play. So if you have got a lot, what I can do here is select the GB training folder, search for that, and that will come up with everybody that has completed the report within that folder. So if I select myself here, there are a couple of options. First of all, everything is already checked in terms of the content of the report. If you do want to leave something out, you can do. And then finally here, choose which reports you'd like to generate. So usually we would generate both. So that's the report for the respondent, but also the one-page DISC supplement for you, which gives a little bit more detail. Click on Next, and that will then just take a couple of seconds to actually generate the report. And once that's done, you can either view it in your browser, you can email it to either the respondents or to a third party if you've got permission to do that, or you can save it down to your desktop as well. So that's how you would do that. If you have a lot of reports to download all in one go, you can create a batch report. And the easiest way to do that is to go to Manage Reports and then Generate Reports for download. So if we click on that, again, slightly different here in as much as you have to define the product family. So everything DISC, workplace, the language that it's being generated in. And then again, really useful, use your folder structure in order to search for the reports. So you can see here that there's two here that meet that criteria. So I'm going to select both of those. I'm going to check all of the content because I would like everything included in the reports. I would like both of the workplace profile and the supplement to be included. And up here, what you can see is that the batch name has now come up. Something random, you may want to change that so that you know exactly what it is that you're generating. So GB training reports, go into here. When you click on Next, what that will then do is that will generate those reports. It will just confirm who's included in that batch. And by clicking on Generate Batch, it will tell you roughly how long it's going to take, depending on how many reports you've got. And then once it's ready to be downloaded, you'll get an email to say it is. And also you can go to the batch download page just here in order to then download your reports as a zip file. So that's a really useful way of downloading lots of reports at the same time. So finally, let me go back to the home page. One other final useful piece of information at this stage is if you do have somebody that you've issued an access code to, and maybe they've now left the company or they're no longer taking the self-assessment, you can reclaim those credits. And the way that you do that is manage your account, unassign access codes and reclaim credits, searching in the usual way, and just follow the process through, and that will stop their code being used, and the credits will be put back into your account as well. So that's a really useful piece of functionality that it's worth using in order to get those credits back. So that's pretty much it. There's lots of other things within Epic that you can have a play around with, but that would absolutely get you started. So go through your settings first of all, customize your front page, set any extra administrators up that you actually want, and then as soon as that's all done, you're able to issue reports straight away using the Manage Reports functionality. So I really hope that's been helpful in getting you started. If you do have any questions, our details are on the screen in front of you, and you're always very welcome to get in touch. We'll be delighted to help. Thank you very much, and look forward to your comments about how you're getting on using Epic.